Welcome to Morning Motivation with AthinaElaiya. Thank you for joining us. It's always a blessing to have you on our channel, where we get to share a piece of forever together. The look of the week is provided by Inspired Fashion. Hi, Shavonne. How are you? I'm so happy to have you on my show today for Morning Motivation. I just want to say you're gorgeous and I adore who you are just as a person. I just love all the work. You've inspired me for a long time, so I had to have you on here because you've just been an inspiration for me for a very long time. Literally since I met you, you've been like the freaking bomb.
You want me to cry.
But it's true, right? Like, as soon as we met, it was over. It was just like over. So I love that about us. So I want to jump right into your business, Melanin NYC. I want to first say congratulations because I know it's hard work. And girl, how long have you been doing this? Like, when did you start your business?
So this year makes 7 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm like, I don't even believe it myself because I've been lying about my age for so long.
Stop it.
But it's been 7 years.
Wow, congratulations. So what was the inspiration to get Melanin? First, how about you give me a breakdown of actually what Melanin NYC is?
Great. So we started off as a digital media company focused on women of color, specifically Black women in New York City, wanting to share our stories in a way that we hadn't really seen it done before. I mean, at the time, when we first started, we wanted it to kind of be like our reality, and we took it from there into like a docu-series following different Black women across New York City, unpacking the work that they were doing as community leaders or artists, and then we transformed and ended up doing a lot of educational work through a bunch of different workshop series, but specifically our sister socials. And then we launched a bunch of other events after that. And currently we're working on becoming a 501c3, so becoming a nonprofit.
I love that. And I've been to some of your events. I've been honored to be blessed enough to come to some of your events. And I love your mother. She's so supportive. She's at every single one. It's amazing. How is it having your mom involved in all of your work?
It can be different sometimes. We're still very mother and daughter. And when I'm in work mode, I'm very, very focused, extremely organized. And I know myself. You know me, I know myself. Sometimes I have to refine it because I am so grateful for all of the support. And at times I can be when I'm working, I can be a little sharp and really driven and kind of harsh. So I have to scale it back and realize that a lot of people don't have their parents anymore, and a lot of people don't have parents that are open to showing up for them as much as my mom has showed up specifically for the work that I've been doing. And it helps, to have her there because it's very grounding the majority of the time. So when I see her there, I know, okay, I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to do, but at the same time, sometimes I've been nervous to like share some of my experiences because she's still my mom.
Yeah, but she's like one of the coolest moms out there though.
Yeah.
You know, she's pretty cool. Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to Melanin NYC, I feel like you've made such an impact. I feel like you've made such an impact on New York City, on women, on Black women. But again, just on women, I feel like you have such a strong energy that it doesn't really matter what color someone is. You just give them so much love and so much good energy. But it's beautiful that you are focusing on, I think maybe sometimes we don't get enough love. And so it's nice to sometimes give that real extra tender love. And then you have a space that's legitimately for them. So it's nice to be just like, yo, it's legitimately for us Black women. I just love that. I love that we have it. Like it's, we have a space. You have a space to go to in New York, And every time I come to your event, it's like over 50 gorgeous black women in the room. It's just like crazy. It's like, where did all these women come from? And they're just, everybody's fly. Like everybody's fly. Everybody's doing dope things. Like how'd you meet all these people, Shavonne? Like how'd you get so cool?
Honestly, a lot of times I've seen people at events of mine that I haven't seen in years. So when I started having the sister socials, people from high school that I hadn't seen in like 7+ years were showing up, and showing love. Probably 10 years or more. I had friends from like middle school and elementary school randomly showing up just to say, I follow you on social media. I love what you're doing and I want to be here and support you. So a lot of the people that I met were from all tiers of my life, all facets of it, whether it was like education based, coworkers have came to things that or supervisors. I've had supervisors show up. I've also had like my family members, but the majority of the people that I've met, I either have met them on a one-on-one basis or met them at an event and just built a relationship or rapport with them. And I'm pretty good at showing up. I try my best to show up everywhere and be a person of my word. So a lot of times people, have no issue showing up for me or showing up to support anything that I'm doing, because they trust that I am, someone who reflects my values on a day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I mean, everyone like might not get this from this show, but I have to say it. The way that you give love to all of your friends is like unspeakable. I mean, just on your Instagram, every single time I see your story, you're always showing love to all your friends, just on a massive net level, not on a like, oh girl, I love you, and like keep it moving. You're like gassing everybody up, and I don't mean to use the word gassing, but you know what I mean. You're just that just amount of love that you just have surging out of you is incredible. Like, where does that come from? Where's all this love for all your friends? Like, where did that stem from? Because every woman's not like that. Every person's not like that. You know what I mean? So I want you to know that's a real gift.
Thank you. I have a very big family. You've met some of my family, but I have a massive, massive family. I have probably like I'm saying probably. I have 8 siblings so far. I only have 8 siblings. I have 13 nieces and nephews. I have a lot. So I'm used to being around people, and my family and I are really close. We check in on each other weekly. We have group chats. We have family Zoom. It's not as often as we probably would like. We don't see each other as often because we're all living all over, but we definitely check in. And so having a big family like that, I've always been attracted to like being around large groups of people. And so my friends are really like an extended version of my siblings or like an extended version of my cousins. So we speak the same way I would speak, and I pour into them the same way my family members pour into me and advise me. And we're so ingrained in each other's lives and in everything that we do. So it's really important that I'm able to give that same grace that my family has given me pretty much my entire life.
I love that. You're such a leader. What do you think helped you become such a leader? Because I wish I could get across to the audience how much of a leader this woman is. Like, people just follow you, Shavonne. People literally follow you. I mean, it's amazing. It really is a beautiful thing to see. What made you such a leader in your community?
I think my level of compassion. I'm really compassionate when it comes to others. I really believe in showing up for people. Every single person around you is extremely important. I treat everyone in my environment like they're celebrities to me because they are really celebrities to me. So,
I agree. You're literally like a celebrity to me, so I totally get it.
So everyone who's around me is important. It doesn't matter what you do, what creative lifestyle that you live. Everyone is essential to essentially my ecosystem, my environment, and has taught me some lesson in growth and maturity in life. So being compassionate, being understanding, really taking the time to get to know the people that were around. I think I used to be around a lot of people and not really know anyone. It was essential for me to really get to know everyone that I was around, really learn their backstories, have an understanding, make sure that they know that they're important and valued at all times. Um, I'm really big on respect and even bigger about disrespect. So making sure respect is top one, understanding my friends' love languages, understanding how to show up for each other. I'm a very high maintenance friend, understanding my low maintenance friends, knowing how to give each other like space, grace, opportunity. All of that has helped me in leadership. And I'm a little bossy. I kind of like things my way, but I'm always open minded to hearing, even if it's not favorable to me, I take the critique and I use it to become better in all things that I'm doing.
I love that. I love that. So, this is kind of a sensitive subject, but I know there's a couple things that really, really changed your life. And I just kind of want to hit on those a little bit. And so I'll get to the first one, which is less sensitive. So the first one is your mentor. What was it about your mentor that changed your life so drastically? What was it about having a mentor, A, and then what was it specifically about your mentor, B?
Right. I always tell people my mentor literally saved my life, and it's really a crazy story. But I met
Wow.
her in school, and I was in a communications program. And when I first started my high school, they were in a transition, so they didn't have any teachers available to actually teach this program. So we were doing the entire program like on a digital system, like a gaming system, so to speak. It was like a VR system. And when my mentor was contracted to become my teacher, I worked with her for a few months and I learned from her. And then I wanted to intern with her. And she never thought about having interns. And she ended up becoming one of my first jobs. I worked with her for 5 years. From high school throughout college, and I learned production through her. So I was doing switchboard operating, lighting, everything that you can think of with her and her company. And on the weekend, she would take me to meet with a group of Black women in New York City, all over New York City, and we create vision boards, go over plans. A lot of the women were in vast fields. So one of them was one of the lead like bankers. I forgot the actual title at Chase. Another was working at like the Apollo Theater. Like all of them were in different areas and arenas, and we were all coming together to bring our skills together to help redevelop different businesses. So that's how I first came up with the concept of Melanin NYC. But then I didn't launch it until years later. So she was really pivotal on that standpoint. And then I think when I first met her, it was right around the time that like Trayvon Martin was killed. So I was extremely like in a very sensitive spot. I had lost like a lot of friends and relatives at the time. And I was like an A student, and I was like, I'm going to not go to, I started skipping school. I had a lot going on. And she just showed up to my house one day with like a bouquet of roses or flowers and some cards, and really sat with me for hours because I didn't show up to school. And
Wow.
established our relationship. And actually, she's
That's
going to be,
incredible.
yeah, she shows up to all of my events. She's actually going to be the chair. She volunteered to be the chair board member for Melanin NYC. So we're still very,
Amazing. That's incredible. Do you know how much do you know how much of a gift it is to be able to stay connected with people? So a lot of people know how to get connected, but the power is really in staying connected, because that's not always the easy part, right? Because, you know, it's easy to get an attitude or have your ego inflated or have your ego hurt and be like, I'm done here. And I just love that you stay so connected and for so long, for years and years. It's just like, it's amazing because you're catering to a part of yourself when you're committed to people that are important to you, right? It's like that part of you that you're staying committed to. So I love that. I love that. So I know you said you had 8 siblings, but I also know that you had a loss And I kind of just want you to like hit on that because I feel like there's so many people who do deal with things like that. And I want to know how you dealt with it.
Yeah, I think really, my friends really have been the foundation for
Well,
a
tell
lot
us
of,
what happened. Not what happened, but just you lost two of your brothers. That's the lot?
right.
Mm-hmm.
One of my brothers was murdered when I was, I think, 10. We're a good 20 years apart. So when I was 10, he was murdered. He's the father of a lot of my nieces and nephews. And so when I was younger, um, it was really important for me to take that opportunity, take that loss, and really bridge the gap between my siblings and I because we were
Wow.
so many years apart. And really, we had a lot of us were in different stages. Like I was probably headed to middle school or so, and they were in high school and college and in master's programs. So we were very much, spread out in ages. So we were able to, start speaking, start having dates with each other and stuff like that. And that really allowed us to go through a healing process for not only us individually, but our whole family.
Yeah, so you guys collectively were spending time with each other, and through that spending time with your family, that's how you guys kind of smoothed over the healing a little bit. That's amazing. That's amazing because so many people shut down when things like that happen. And I love that your mentor showed up for you like that because I feel like that showed you how to show up for other people like that, right? Because I definitely get that from you. Now, after hearing the story of your mentor, I literally see that all over you. You're like, I'm not giving up on my friends, and you're not going to give up on yourself. You're just such a, oh, by the way, let's get into that. Let's get into the fact that you're a life coach. Because everything in everybody's life brings them up to a point. And so the fact that you're a life coach, like a real life coach, like, you're a real life coach. Like you're really out here changing people's lives, girl.
It's very shocking.
It's
It's
incredible.
very
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about becoming an official life coach and that amazing brand that you work with because that's not your company, right? The life coach. You are a life coach within that brand, correct?
it's my brand as well.
So it is your brand. That's what I thought. Okay, so I didn't want to be okay. So both of them are your brands. I love it. Oh, okay. So let's talk about that one. So let's talk about you being a life coach and you having your own like company within that. It's amazing that you have your own life coaching company and you're a life coach in there. It's so cool. I thought you were a life coach for another brand. I didn't even know that was your brand. That's incredible.
No. So Sankofa Mastery Coaching, Sankofa means to go forward and essentially come back, right? So learn using your lessons. Well, actually, I'm saying it backwards. It means to go backwards to go forward.
To go
Essentially.
backwards, to go forwards. Yes.
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 Yeah, because you're looking at me like that's not it. But
Did you see my face? I was like, wait, are you sure?
no, actually, and I'm doing the hands in the opposite way. But Sankofa means to go backwards in order to go forward. So understanding your full history in
Yes.
order to bring yourself to your point. And so when I started life coaching, or essentially going through the process of getting certified, I was having conversations, and I felt like the communication was lax. Like a lot of the communication was in discourse, and I'm like, how can I learn to communicate in the most efficient ways? And I was on Google just researching all of these communication techniques, which led me into coaching programs. And then I ended up speaking to one of my close friends who lives in Jersey, who went through a coaching program in New Jersey, and she recommended that I start there. And so I was driving to New Jersey weekly to go to these to go through this course.
Wow.
And essentially, when I finished the course, I just felt so full. I felt like I had a better understanding of a lot of things. And one of the main things was like, never try to coach your partner, never try to coach your relatives, because they know you and they're very defensive towards you when it comes to certain things, because they're like, you can't tell me what to do. Like, I've seen you in all of your stages, or they just may not be open to seeing you in a different light, so to speak. So that was a big thing. And I was able to, take all of the lessons from that and become a stronger communicator.
So, Shavonne, can you give our audience a really great description about how Sister Social is connected with Melanin NYC?
Right. So Sister Social is basically an annual women's conference. It has about, I would say, 50 to 80 Black women who live in New York City. Some people have traveled from outside of New York City and came, but it's essentially about a 6 hours women's conference. It's focused mainly on Black women. And we have a theme every year or a topic, a discussion topic, and we center activities around the almost the entire day. It's about 6 hours or so, and we get sponsored by mainly Black women-led or women-led businesses that are either New York City or within the United States, including drink and beverage companies. And we have tons of giveaways and gifts for the women that attend. And it's always a really nice time, a great opportunity for women to develop relationships. And I've seen tons of women who came to our events in like 2019, 2018 that are still friends to this day or have collaborated and created content and partnerships based on being able to meet within the Sister Social network. So it was really nice to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I have really good friends from your events. Like I have at least 10 Instagram, like me, at least 10 Instagram girls that we're just like, we don't talk all the time, but we like every time somebody posts, we're like, And I love them. Like I love the women that I've met from your events. It's just always so loving and so welcoming. I hope that if anybody sees this who has not been to Shavonne's event, you need to go. And it's not even like, it's not even peer pressure. It's like you're really missing out. You're really missing out if you don't go to her events, because it's just like so beautiful. There's so many amazing people there. And if you are in New York and you're not networking, then you should probably move somewhere else anyway. So go to her events, okay? Because they're amazing. Can you give the dates on when they are so we can make sure that they get there?
Right, so Sister Social will be on Sunday, August 14th this year, from 2 to 6 p.m. or so, or 2 to 8 p.m. And the annual potluck. So our annual potluck normally celebrates our anniversary. It's normally the second or third weekend, the second or third Sunday in July every year. And it's a day for people of color from all over to come together. And as you saw, last year was massive. We all wear the same color. Last year we wore yellow. This year we're going to wear orange. And we had a massive big game day. We had catered food from local Black-owned restaurants. And it was just a beautiful time. Like we played tug of war. It was absolutely insane. And so that will be on July 17th this year, probably around the same time frame, 1 or 2 to 6 p.m. But we always end up lingering a lot later. Like it'll be like,
of course. Are you kidding me? Come on, like, come on. It's women, and you don't expect lingering. Like, come on, like, you know how long women stay in church just sitting and talking? Like, it's like, come on, let's go. But your event is a place where when you linger, there's still activities and there's still food and there's just still so many things going on. So can you tell us how, I'm gonna have everything below, so no one has to worry about if they're gonna miss out on her or not, but can you just tell us where we can find you, all your handles and your websites and all of those things?
So my personal Instagram is at Shavonne Taisha. So it's ShavonneTaisha. For Melanin NYC, it's MLNN NYC.
Don't worry, I'm gonna have it down below. I promise you.
Have it down below.
They're not gonna mess it up. We are not gonna mess that up because it's like 5 letters, you guys. It's like the alphabet. No, I'm just kidding. But I really actually love the name Melanin NYC. Melanin NYC. How did you come up with that name just before we go?
I think in 2015 when we were, when I had my first, group of volunteers working with me, we sat together. We were like, we need to go through all of these names. We had every name that you could think of. We were just throwing it into group chats trying to go. And that year, like, just in general, there were a lot of Black-centered festivals coming forth. And we were just like, oh, it's just so much Black girl magic. It's so much melanin magic. And we were like, melanin magic. We're like, no, that's really horrible. Let's just not do that. Let's not do it and say we did. So we were like, we're just going to call it Melanin NYC. Keep it simple.
That's such a good name. So good. It's so good. It's so good. But I'm so proud of you, Shavonne. I'm sure you hear it from your other friends, but I'm really grateful to be your friend. I think you are I know that you are a phenomenal woman, and anybody who meets you is just a lucky person. And you guys, go check out her stuff because she's an incredible woman and she will definitely teach you a lot of things. And we all need to learn, okay? The look of this week on today's episode is provided by Inspired Fashion. So thank you so much, Shavonne. I love you. Thank you for being here. I wish I could give you a hug, but we'll do it when I see you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, beautiful woman. And until next time. So have a beautiful day. And before we go, I just want to let you guys know, definitely check out our website, which is kind of long. It's not as cute as Shavonne's, but it's Morning Motivation with AthinaElaiya.com. I'll work on it, okay? But we're just gonna stick to calling it Morning Motivation and then just click on the links, okay? Click on the links, okay? All right, so also check out my Instagram, which is morningmotivation.ae, okay? And thank you for being here, and I love you so much.
Love you too.
Okay, have a beautiful day. Mwah.